Hey everyone, today we're going to do a complete walkthrough of the 2018 Haryana Board Social Science paper, Set A. We're going to break down every single question from political science, geography, and economics to give you the key answers and strategies you need to feel confident for your exams. And just so you know, this entire breakdown has been carefully prepared by Mukesh Kumar Jain, who's a lecturer in economics, so you can be sure we're getting an expert analysis here. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with political science, then take a deep dive into geography. After that, we'll unpack all the economics questions, and you'll definitely want to stick around till the end because I've got a fantastic resource that's going to be a huge help for your revision. All right, let's get right into it. First up, political science. Okay, let's fly through these quick 1- and 2-mark questions. First, the capital of Belgium. That's Brussels. Jurisdiction simply means the legal power over a specific area. Afro-Americans are defined as the descendants of Africans who were enslaved in America. Here's a quick fact for you. In 2006, India had 6 recognized national parties. The main cause of the civil war in Sri Lanka was the Sinhalese majority government basically ignoring the needs of the Tamil minority. What's the difference between a municipality and a corporation? Well, it's all about size. Municipalities are for smaller towns, and corporations are for the big cities. And finally, social divisions get really serious when different social issues, like race and poverty, start to overlap. All right, let's move on to the 3-mark questions. These need a bit more detail, We're going to look at how politics gets influenced, why democracy is considered the best system, and the different ways power can be shared. For question 16, a solid answer would explain how pressure groups influence politics, by getting public support, organizing protests, and directly lobbying politicians. For question 17, the big arguments for democracy are that it promotes equality, improves the quality of decisions, and, this is a big one, it gives us a way to correct mistakes through things like elections. And for question 18, there are a few forms of power sharing. Horizontal, which is between branches like the courts and the government, vertical between central and state levels, and also sharing among different social and political groups. Now for the first big one, the 6-mark question. For this, you had a choice. You could either explain the main features of Indian federalism or describe the various functions of political parties. Let's break down what a top-notch answer would look like for both. So let's look at the two options side by side. If you went with federalism, you'd have to talk about things like the 2-tier government system, central and state, the clear division of powers in the Constitution, an independent judiciary to sort out any fights, and financial independence for both levels. On the other hand, if you chose political parties, you'd list out their main jobs. They contest elections, they create policies, they form and run the government, they act as the opposition, and of course, they play a massive role in shaping what the public thinks. And that's a wrap on political science. Now let's switch gears and dive into the geography section, starting with those quick answer questions. All right, let's tackle these geography questions. A major cause of land degradation? Things like deforestation or overgrazing. India's most well-known wildlife project is, of course, Project Tiger. Minerals are usually found in sedimentary rocks. National Waterway number 1 is on the Ganges River. And how do we stop soil erosion on hillsides? With methods like terrace farming and contour plowing. Lastly, a super important definition. Sustainable development is all about meeting our needs today without messing things up for future generations. This next question is a classic. It's all about the relationship between agriculture and industry. It's easy to think of them as separate, but they're actually partners. So, how do they help each other grow? It's really a two-way street. Think about it. Industry gives agriculture things like tractors, fertilizers, and PVC pipes for irrigation, which makes farms way more productive. And in return, agriculture gives industry the raw materials it desperately needs, like cotton for textiles or sugarcane to make sugar. They absolutely need each other to succeed. Okay, here's the big 6-mark question for geography. This one is all about rice, which is, a huge deal in India. To get full marks, you need to talk about the geographic conditions it needs to grow and where it's mainly produced in the country. So to nail this answer, you've got to cover 2 main parts. First, the conditions. Rice is a kharif crop, so it loves high temperatures. We're talking above 25 degrees Celsius and lots of rain, over 100 centimeters. Clayey soil is perfect because it holds water. Then, for the second part, you have to mention production. India is the world's 2nd biggest producer, and the key states you'd want to name are West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, and Haryana. Next up is the map work. You were asked to find 3 specific spots on a map of India. Even though we can't draw here, let's talk about exactly where they are. Here are the locations you needed to know. Desert soil is found out in western India, mostly in Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat. The Jaria coalfield, which is one of the biggest in India, is in Jharkhand, and the Bhadravati steel plant is located down south in Karnataka. Knowing these key spots is really crucial for the map section. We're on the home stretch now, everyone. Let's tackle the final section of the paper, economics. Let's get ready for some key terms and ideas. Time for our final round of quick answers, this time for economics. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. That's the total value of everything a country produces. The unorganized sector, that's all the small, scattered businesses that aren't really under government control. A trade barrier is just a government restriction on foreign trade, like a tax on imports. COPRA is the Consumer Protection Act, and it's been around since 1986. And finally, two classic examples of public enterprises are Indian Railways and Indian Post. This 3-mark question is all about a major global institution, the World Trade Organization, or WTO. So what does it actually do? Let's break down its 3 main functions. It's actually pretty straightforward. First, the WTO's main job is to promote and free up international trade. Second, it works to get rid of barriers like taxes and quotas to make trade easier. And third, it sets the rules for global trade and basically acts as a referee when member countries have disagreements. And here we are, the final 6-mark question of the paper. Once again, you had a choice. Either explain the different sources of credit in India or detail the rights that consumers have. Both are super important, real-world topics. Let's break down these final 2 options. If you chose credit sources, the key is to compare the formal and informal sectors. Formal sources like banks are regulated by the RBI and usually have lower interest rates. But informal sources like moneylenders are unregulated, charge super high interest, and can easily trap people in debt. Now, if you chose consumer rights, you'd list the protections under COPRA, like the right to safety, the right to be informed about what you're buying, the right to choose, and the right to get compensation if something goes wrong. And just like that, we've gone through every single question from the 2018 paper. Now that we've covered it all, let's wrap this up with the most important thing to remember and that resource I promised you. So what's the biggest takeaway here? It's that having a structured approach is key. To help you practice that, we've made a fully solved PDF of this entire paper available for you to download. Just check the description for the link. Go grab it. And hey, let us know in the comments which subject you're focusing on the most.